what has happened in Gaza because of the hostilities that Hamas bears sole responsibility for.
They'll observe that the that the U.S. actually has sanctions on the UAE for UAE companies for support to the RSF. And separately, there's progress on the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation says it's making progress with Israel on resuming aid in Gaza. Can you explain what the U.S. role in that is, the U.S. government role?
Well, look, one of the fundamental principles of this plan is that it is independent, meant to get humanitarian aid into Gaza. And we welcome the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's official launch yesterday. The Secretary also just spoke to this as well. We have seen what has happened in Gaza because of the hostilities that Hamas bears sole responsibility for. We have seen this announcement. We welcome creative solutions to get aid in there. But as the Secretary also just said, we need to see aid enter Gaza in a way that does not allow Hamas or other terrorists to take that aid. So we welcome this creative solution. We welcome the Foundation's announcement. I refer you to the Foundation itself for further details on this program.
So, could I follow up?
Yes, Andrea.
I want to ask you about Secretary Lando's trip out to Dulles to greet the South African refugees and State Department decision-making about the genocide designation that's under consideration, which the President had mentioned as genocide is happening there. There is a lot of evidence, public evidence, that is in open sources of farmers, white farmers not wanting to come, of black killings exceeding by large measure white killings in the crime problem that they do have, and that there is no white genocide to justify this kind of extraordinary accelerated refugee process for white South Africans. On the same day that temporary protective status was withdrawn from Afghans, thousands of them, many of whom are sponsored by U.S. military veterans because they were their translators. So can you unpack that and the disparity in treatment, and what is the status of any kind of genocide investigation on what is happening to white South Africans?
Well, the President has been very clear, the concerns that he has in terms of South Africa. He has expressed those publicly and often. When it comes to temporary protected status, I refer you to DHS. That was always meant as a temporary program, a temporary benefit, but I refer you to DHS for more questions on that. Again, when it comes to the new arrivals that we saw, what we saw was a president who identified a priority that we fulfilled here at the State Department. And what's also clear is that the refugees that arrived met the same standard that is across the board for refugees. They met that standard. So what we're seeing here is a president who has been clear about his concerns with South Africa, and the State Department has acted on that, and the refugees that we saw met the standard in statute for refugees.